Have you ever stopped to think about this question? Are humans the only creatures whose eyesight weakens over time, or does this happen to other living beings as well? We're used to hearing people complain about poor vision. Someone says their child's eyesight is getting worse because they spend too much time on their phone or in front of screens. Another person blames genetics. Someone else develops vision problems after diabetes or because of poor nutrition. All of this sounds very normal to us. But what about animals? Does the same scenario repeat itself in the animal world? Can a young dog or a cat, still in the prime of its life, suddenly start losing its vision? Can an animal develop cataracts the same way humans do? And what about predators? Imagine a lion or a tiger trying to hunt, only to realize that the world in front of its eyes has become blurry. And the most important question of all, if animals really do suffer from vision problems, do they have solutions like we do, or is it simply the end for them? Welcome. And before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos. Time doesn't affect humans alone. Animals, just like us, experience physical changes as they age, and one of the most important of these changes is declining eyesight. Researchers noticed something fascinating while studying bonobo apes. Bonobos spend a lot of time grooming each other, carefully picking insects and debris from one another's fur as a social behavior. When scientists observed young bonobos doing this, they noticed that their eyes were positioned at a normal distance, around 10 to 15 centimeters from the area they were grooming. But when they looked at older bonobos, ones approaching the age of 40, which is considered old age for bonobos, something strange stood out. These older apes would lean their heads far back and stretch their arms forward as much as possible while grooming their companions. In simple terms, they were moving their eyes farther away from what they were trying to see, just like an elderly human holding a newspaper at arm's length to read it clearly. From this behavior, researchers concluded that bonobos develop farsightedness as they age, very similar to what happens in humans. This age-related vision decline isn't limited to primates. It also appears in the pets we raise in our homes. Many dog owners notice that once a dog passes the age of 7 or 8, the color of its eyes starts to change slightly, developing a faint cloudy appearance. This condition is known as nuclear sclerosis. The lens of the eye is made up of layers almost like an onion. As a dog ages, new fibers form and compress the older fibers in the center, making the lens denser and harder. This causes the cloudy color people notice. As a result, dogs may struggle a bit with focusing on nearby objects, while their distance vision often remains fairly good. What truly sets dogs apart, however, is their incredible ability to adapt. Even when their vision weakens significantly, dogs rely on their mental map of their environment, along with their powerful sense of smell and hearing. Senses far stronger than ours. That's why many owners don't even realize their dog's eyesight has declined. From the outside, everything seems normal. But in the world of predators, vision loss is a much more serious problem. Predatory animals rely heavily on their eyesight to survive. For a lion or a tiger, the eyes are the primary weapon. Successful hunting requires precise distance judgment, speed, and a clear view of the entire scene. If a predator can't see its prey clearly, it can't hunt effectively. Weak eyesight leads to hunger, weakness, and eventually death. In the wild, researchers have documented cases of elderly lions approaching villages and human settlements, targeting livestock like sheep and poultry. Easier prey compared to fast wild animals. If an old lion is part of a strong pride, the females usually do the hunting and share food with him. But for solitary predators like tigers, the situation is far more brutal. Tigers hunt alone, and for them, vision loss often means the end. So yes, animals do experience vision decline with age, just like humans. But aging isn't the only cause. This brings us to another important question. Can young animals also suffer from vision problems? Researchers began asking whether animals living in captivity, in zoos or enclosed environments, lose their vision faster than animals living in the wild. The surprising answer was yes. Animals in captivity often develop vision problems much earlier, even when they're still young. For example, a giraffe that is only 10 years old, considered relatively young, but raised entirely in a zoo may already show noticeable vision decline. Scientists observe that captive animals frequently develop nearsightedness due to what's called the closed environment effect. In the wild, animals constantly look across vast open spaces. Their eyes are trained for long distances. In captivity, however, animals spend their lives surrounded by walls, fences, and limited visual ranges. Over time, their eyes adapt to short distances only. There's another factor at play: sunlight. Natural sunlight can reach up to 10,000 lux in brightness, and this intense light stimulates the retina to release dopamine. Dopamine acts like a brake, signaling the eye to stop growing longer than necessary. Animals kept indoors or in shaded enclosures are exposed to much weaker artificial lighting. Lower dopamine levels allow the eye to elongate excessively, causing images to form in front of the retina instead of directly on it, leading to nearsightedness. But environmental factors aren't the only cause. Genetics also play a major role. In a recent veterinary study, researchers examined the eyes of thousands of domestic dogs from different breeds. The results showed clear differences between breeds. Rottweilers, German Shepherds, and certain miniature breeds had the highest rates of nearsightedness, while other breeds showed much stronger vision overall. The same pattern appears in cats. Breeds like Siamese and Abyssinian cats are more prone to vision problems than others. What's especially interesting is that studies suggest many of these breeds would likely not survive in the wild. Animals with weak eyesight struggle to hunt and avoid danger, which would drastically reduce their numbers. But human intervention, selective breeding and care, allowed these animals to survive and pass on their weaker genes. Human involvement has helped animals in many ways, but it has also caused harm, especially when it comes to nutrition. In the wild, animals rarely consume processed sugars. They don't drink soda or eat sweets, which is why diabetes is extremely rare among wild animals. Domestic animals, on the other hand, often consume human food directly or indirectly. This increases their risk of diabetes, a disease that comes with serious complications, including vision loss. Nutrition plays an even deeper role. In nature, predators eat their prey whole: muscles, organs, liver, heart, receiving a complete balance of nutrients. When humans interfere and feed animals based on convenience, problems can arise. In the 1970s, veterinarians noticed a strange phenomenon among house cats. Many cats suddenly developed blindness due to retinal degeneration. After extensive investigation, researchers discovered the cause. Cat owners were feeding their cats dog food. Cats require a specific amino acid called taurine, which their bodies cannot produce on their own. Taurine is found in raw meat and properly formulated cat food. A deficiency leads to a condition called central retinal degeneration, where the light-sensing cells in the eye die. This problem isn't limited to cats. Livestock can also suffer from nutritional vision disorders. If young calves don't receive enough vitamin A, improper skull growth can compress the optic nerve. In severe cases, the bone can damage the nerve entirely, leading to blindness. Many such cases have been documented in farms using low-quality feed. Beyond nutrition, animals can also develop natural eye diseases. One of the most common is cataracts, clouding of the eye's lens. A healthy lens is transparent, allowing light to reach the retina clearly. When proteins inside the lens clump together, the lens turns white and opaque, gradually blocking vision until blindness occurs. Today, medical advancement isn't limited to humans. There is now a full specialty known as veterinary ophthalmology. Veterinarians perform cataract removal surgeries on dogs, cats, and even wild animals in conservation reserves, replacing damaged lenses with artificial ones so the animal can see again. There are even contact lenses designed specifically for horses with eye ulcers, and in rare cases, specially made goggles for dogs to protect them from ultraviolet light. So eyesight problems in animals are no longer a death sentence. At least not always. If you made it all the way to the end, you're truly legendary. Drop a like so we know how many people stayed until the final moment. And if you ever find yourself awake late at night with a strange question that keeps bothering you, write it in the comments. We'll be happy to explore it together. Until next time.